Alright, this is assignment 2 for the sophomores. This is the typography text or the typography clipping mask assignment. And what you're going to do is, as you see, I have all these words. I'm going to turn those off. Turn that one off temporarily. So I have a background on mine. And what you want to do is find an image that has a predominantly black background or a predominantly white background. I'll drag one in here again real quick. So this one has a predominantly white. This is the one I'm currently using. So most of the background is white. Or you can use one that has a regular background with other objects and floor and stuff in it, and I can show you how to clip out the cat. For the ones that have predominantly black and you have shadows cutting into the skull itself, make sure that this is rasterized so that you can actually edit. And all you do is right click on the layer, rasterize it. So for the skull, I'm going to grab the magic wand, and you're going to watch how it's going to select a lot of the black on the inside. So I'm going to grab the brush, or select some of the white, the skull itself. I'm going to grab the brush, and I'm going to draw around the area of the skull. So I have that. So it takes it straight to its edge. Looks good. The jaw. Oops, went way too far. That one's going too fast. Okay. Much better. Alright, as you see, I have most of the skull clipped. Alright, so what we're going to do here is, I don't know if I want to actually do it that way. What I want is the skull to be still there, so I'm going to invert the selection so I have this. Also, no, I'm not going to, I'll show you all that later. So now that I have this selection mask selected, I'm going to fill it with a color so I can actually see it. Grab the paint bucket and create a new layer down here. Add a pixel layer, and it should be all the way down here, actually, near the skull. I'm going to name it Fill, and we're going to fill that with a color, as you can see there. And then what you want to do is, I'm going to turn that off. So this is going to be the long and drawn out part. That's the reason why I already have some text already created. As you can see there, oops. As you can see here, I have this text created. And to create your text, you go down here. Over here, you have your artistic text tool, and you place it on there, but you place it where you want it, and you type up whatever words you want that to be saying, or how to express yourself, no curse words. And then you would duplicate all of these, and you can change the font in this area over here, and you can make it to whatever font you want. And the size, bold, the color, you can pick whatever color you want. Color is not going to matter, but for time's sake, pick any, it doesn't matter, it can be black. As long as you can see it before you actually do the clipping mask, it doesn't matter what color the font is going to be. So let me delete those. And I have a whole bunch of fonts here already created, and I'm going to duplicate the whole group just so I can have a, oh my god, that's a lot. I'm going to turn one of them off. I'm going to move this one down to the fill layer up. Cool. So I'm going to drag this on top of the, as you see how it shows now, just the skull itself. You can also delete out the background. I'm choosing not to do that at the moment. And then you can drop it inside there. Alright, what's going to happen with your fill is how to get the words to clip out what you're saying. Why is that one way up here? Alright, we're going to move that one down. And then we're going to move the whole group up some. Alright, this is going to be a long process because you're going to have a lot of font. So what you do is you duplicate the fill layer that has the skull in a clipping mask, and all you're doing is dragging one layer on top of the other. I'm going to drag this layer on top of the words, and how you can tell the selection underneath here changes from, this is adding it to the group, this is adding it on top of the words to be clipped, and you'll have to keep repeating this process until you have it on all of your words. And it, like I said, this is the part that takes a little while. Did it move? Okay, it moved. Good. And you probably won't notice anything until you start getting closer and closer to having all of them clipped or masked. Oops. Rasterize. Duplicate. Hopefully it's doing it correctly. I hope. I don't know. I cannot tell. Alright, let me turn off this other fill. Okay, cool. It is doing it. So as you see, it is starting to show all the words are being clipped by the skull mask that we have. And as I keep doing it, we'll start to show just the skull itself. Duplicate. And I am skipping some. Cool. And let me pause. Alright, I'm on my last few. I had to go back and actually delete the background within the skull. So when you make your selection mask, and I'll do it again and show you what I mean, you'll have to delete the background and drag the image itself on top of the text, which is a long drawn out task of copying and well, duplicating and dragging on top of the other layer. Hopefully it gets rid of all of them. So far, seems to be doing that. Where the rest of those words are, I have absolutely no idea, but it does look kind of interesting. I don't know what those other words are. Hopefully it's going to be all the words. I highly doubt it. Because this is usually what happens. You lose track of how many fonts you have. Because I wasn't immediately cropping them as I was going. So I lost track of where these are. Which they should clip, but they did not clip. Very, very interesting. So through here and deleting does help, but I doubt it helps. Yeah, it's not going to help. That's fine. That's my background. Alright, well, I am not going to worry about it. I'm not sure where these things are and why they are doing that. So what if I grab that one? Interesting. Very interesting. Control V. So there you have that. With the, and I guess you can leave the words in there if you want. If you want to delete, to completely crop out all those words, that's not a fun task to do either. You'd have to rasterize the entire group, even the words, and then you'd have to trim the words. I don't know what happened. I didn't want to do that. You'll have to trim the words themselves. I can show you what that looks like real quick. So with this one hanging out, let's say I rasterize. It's going to be this word over here. I rasterize the word itself. Hopefully it doesn't mess up what's underneath. And it does. Alright. So you'd have to rasterize it before. You move that out. Rasterize the font. Grab the selection mask again by using the magic wand and selecting around the skull. And then on the text, with this selection mask still selected, you just hit delete, and it will delete that other side of the words, which it should automatically clip, but it's not actually clipping, which really does suck. I wonder if I have to do this in reverse. Yeah, you can do it in reverse too. Alright, so the other way, actually, yeah, that'd be easy to do. Alright, the other way. So I'm just going to take the skull itself. What? That's the font. I need the skull. Okay, the skull. I'm going to drop that back into there. Duplicate just the skull. So you have your skull sitting there. And let me turn all this off. So with the words, you're adding a little bit of artistic pizzazz to it. It does look interesting. The other way, without the words showing, you take the words themselves, and they're all grouped, and you drag them on top. And as you see, they don't really shine through. They don't really shine through the clipping mask, but you can quickly do that by changing the layer style. And it will make them pop out like so. That's actually pretty interesting. And there you go. Get back inside there. Alright, that is assignment number 2.